In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a rear shock absorber on this Fiat 500. Let's get started. We'll have to remove the wheel to get to some of the hardware, so let's take off the hubcap first if your vehicle has it. You're going to want to use a pry bar and gently pry around the edge. It's got a bunch of clips that lock it onto the wheel. Don't pry with too much force, you don't want to break it, but just kind of walk the pry bar around and push it. There we go. Use a 17mm socket and remove the 4 lug bolts that hold the wheel onto the hub. Remove the wheel. Use a 15mm socket and remove the top bolt that holds the shock absorber through the body of the vehicle. It's normal for the rear axle to drop down a little bit. At the bottom we have an E18 inverted Torx headed bolt, so use a socket and whatever tool you have that'll fit on here and remove it. Take this out. Hold the shock, remove the bolt, pull the shock down. There it is. Before we install the new shock, I like to compress it a few times. It's called starting it. And what that does is it mixes in all the oils and gases that are inside. So put it on a steady surface and slowly put pressure on it until it collapses all the way. And then let it expand by itself. 3 to 5 times should be plenty. And you'll notice that as you do this, sometimes it gets a little bit more difficult to compress. That's normal. That's what you want. If you don't do this, you may hear some clunking over bumps when you first start driving. And this will also extend the life of the shock. Now take your new shock absorber and line it up in position. Slide that bolt through and thread it on. I'm not going to bottom it out completely, I'm just going to get it close. And there we go. I want to torque this as well as the top bushing once this is compressed up at right height. I don't want to put these under more tension than they need to be, so at right height, if I push this up and then tighten them, they'll be in a neutral position with the vehicle driving down the road. I have a pull jack underneath because I want to lift. If you are on the floor, you could just use your floor jack and raise the rear end up just a little bit so that the top bolt on that shock can line up and you have a much easier time installing it. Right about there. Let's get that bolt in. Start it on by hand so it doesn't cross thread. Get it close. And now let's raise this rear end up a little bit more. Put that shock in its right height position. Now finish snugging it up. 52 foot-pounds for this top bolt. .74 foot-pounds is the torque for this lower bolt. Now you can remove your support. Let's put the wheel back on, line it up with the 2 alignment pins, press it onto the hub, start on all 4 lug bolts, snug them up in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, torque them to 75 foot-pounds if you have aluminum wheels, or if you have steel wheels, it's going to be 63 foot-pounds. Because I have steel wheels, I'm torquing this to 63 foot-pounds. Once again, if you have aluminum wheels, 75 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Double check them. If your vehicle had these hubcaps, you want to make sure that when you put them on, you line them up with the valve stem. Otherwise, it's going to get crushed and not even seat fully when you put it on. So, line it up, tap it, and that should get it fully seated. And there you have it. Job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.